Yeah, you got that sweater like you're in Alaska.
I don't know how you talking with that pink shirt on. Why are you talking about my sweater?
This is not pink. This is lavender, light lavender.
So welcome everyone to Indie Film Screenings. I'm your host, Stephon J. Davis, and my other host here is
Jerome Lee Brown.
And we are the hosts of Indie Film Screenings, the best show on YouTube and everywhere else right now. No, it's not. Yeah. But it will be at one point though. Once we keep on, perfecting our craft, it will be the #1 show. Let's say.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Also, it'd be probably where else would be on TV? Probably find it on HBO and Showtime.
You must have some pretty good contact then.
Anyway, I was thinking we could do a podcast too with this, like have like this and the podcast, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, well, this has a lot of possibilities. We're working on it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that off camera though. Talk to our assistants and producers and stuff and see what they can. We are here to talk to you about a wonderful film. Well, a film. We're here to talk about a film called.
I didn't say that. You said that.
Disposable Corpse?
Yeah.
What is it called?
Disposable Corpse.
Dispose of a corpse.
Get it right.
The dispose of a corpse.
That's not including the film. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Well, Dispose of a Corpse is a film that I guess a person had problems with another person and he decided to knock him off and try to figure out a way to hide the body, dispose of the body before somebody else sees the body as they come to the house. Well, here's how the whole thing starts off, to make a long story short. I guess the house he was staying in belonged to, he was renting or something.
I couldn't figure that part out. I mean, you say make a long story short, but it was already short though, so I'm not even sure. Actually, it looks like, for some reason it was, I don't know whose house it was actually. There was no real explanation about it.
It was a landlord's house, and we know that.
Was it landlord's? Okay,
yeah.
Maybe I missed that part.
Yeah.
I know the plumber came by.
I take that back. Maybe that's what I interpreted. I think he was having problems with the house, and he did call somebody to come by and fix it. I got the impression it was a landlord or something. I don't know.
Oh, could have been.
He could be the plumber too, but why would he?
You're right. I don't know.
But he decided to why, for what reason? To I take that. That's not the story. He didn't take the plumber out. The plumber walked away. Yeah, it was the guy. This guy.
The first guy. We don't know why he knocked him over the head, but he did.
That's the part we got messed up on. We're still mind boggled over this film. Kind of figure out, but it looked like we just walked in the middle of it. But this is what the film they sent us. It's one of those things, you walk into a theater after 2 hours been playing, you're trying to get caught up, what's going on, who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, what happened. Well, what we're having a problem with this film is, why was the guy knocked out or killed or whatever the case was, and between all that, why is the plumber even showing up to fix his toilet if you're going to knock off somebody?
I have no idea. The story was suffered a little bit, I mean, I guess I understand that. You're doing a short film, you just kind of try to put something together, and I commend them for the effort. They put something together, right? Anytime somebody can, have an idea and lay it all out and then create this final product and be able to display it anywhere, I have to say hats off to them. It just seemed like the story did suffer. It's a little weak, and I think that as filmmakers we have to understand that story is huge. I mean, you can only do so much. I mean, right? You don't have $1 million budget, so you can only get a certain kind of camera. You can only do this. You can only do that. But anyone can tell a great story. Though it doesn't take millions of dollars to come up with a great story, and I think that that's where sometimes we think that we don't need to have a great story, like let's just shoot it, whatever, because it's a short film. But I've seen short films that told masterfully, like the story was just phenomenal. So I don't think you can say like, well, it's only 10 minutes or it's only 17 minutes, only 20 minutes. That's why the story wasn't great. I don't think we can have that excuse as filmmakers. I think we have to utilize all our skills and our tools and create great stuff, though.
Well, yeah, it looked like he utilized everything he had his hands on. The lighting, the camera, the boom microphone, the actors. It's just a matter of just trying to make it look presentable. I think he did a good job with the different angles, the editing, so forth.
4-gallon flushes. Ain't never been no good.
The lighting can touch and go. I mean, the lighting in some spots is good, some spots kind of, you know, dim. I can't say too much about anything else of the film. I will say it was an interesting plot. It just did not explain in more details what happened, because we still don't know why it was a dead body in the house.
Yeah.
You know, why did you kill the person? If the person was killed?
And that's what I mean. It's like that. I can excuse everything else, but I think if we want to get to that next level, you know, make a 5-minute film, you can still do it in a kind of a way that can be very captivating and stuff. With limited resources, you know, you got one house, you got one this, one that to work with, but I think you can still figure out a way to really craft a great story. And for me, I didn't understand why he hit the guy upside the head in the first place. You know, and then why he put the rope around his neck so that he would, you know, be up there in this chair, and then it came loose and he fell on the steps. None of it really made a whole lot of sense to me. And I guess he was trying to maybe put the body up there so he'd be out the way, but why not just throw him on the floor? I didn't understand that.
I didn't understand why was he taking him upstairs, like you just said, upstairs in the attic. All the other rooms on the it was even closer and better and less aggravation dragging him up the steps. Once again, what you just said. But what was the rope tied around his neck for? Was again, that looked like a dental floss. Basically.
It wasn't strong.
No, it wasn't strong. I mean, what is that little tiny dental floss rope going to do for a 200-pound man? You know,
I couldn't figure that part out yet.
And why was he putting it? Why would you put a dead body in a chair?
I have no
and
idea.
tie dental floss around his neck? Now, unless he was going to portray the part where he committed suicide. But it's kind of hard to do that when you whack the guy over the head with the toilet, back with a toilet. He's got a bruise on top of his head, bleeding profusely. Obviously, he didn't commit suicide because there's a dent in the back of his head now.
Yeah, I'm baffled on that. Only thing I think of was like maybe it was like the idea to create suspense, which it did a little bit. It did. I like the fact that, you know, as he's doing whatever in the toilet and things, and the rope is, you know, well, no, I think it's already out the bathroom at that point, but the rope is kind of starting to break a little bit, and they're cutting to that shot. That was good, you know, but I feel like the only reason why they did that was so they could get a shot like that and create the suspense. And so sometimes you have to reverse engineer and not think like, well, what can we do to create suspense? You have to like create the story first off and then build around that story. So I think to me, it felt like they were just kind of like grabbing pieces and parts and putting it together as opposed to a whole story.
Yeah, I get that.
So, but like I say, I mean, I'm not trying to bash because I understand. I'm trying not to at least.
Oh, okay.
Because I understand, you know, it's not easy. I mean, this stuff is not, you know, just easy peasy or whatever. It takes a lot of work and effort.
It does. It takes a lot of work to put these little small.
Even a short film, 7 minutes.
Even short films do take a lot of time to do. We had a hard time trying to understand what the purpose of the film was about, what the storyline was about. So a lot of questions we didn't understand. And so when we look at these footage, we try to at least have an understanding of what we were watching. And we just didn't understand what we were watching. At least I didn't, you know, what we were looking at.
I guess it was just dispose of a corpse. I guess he was just showing when you dispose of a corpse what that looks like. I guess maybe there wasn't really much more they were trying to really demonstrate and show besides this is how you dispose of a corpse. Maybe. Well, I don't know, but I don't know. But I mean, I think it was a good job though. I mean, they did put something together, so I definitely commend them for that. And to say maybe this was one of their earlier films, and I think that they can build upon this though. Like, you know, from here they can go to a lot more places, and one of those areas is going to be by developing their stories a little bit stronger and things. When you create that great story, even if your shots aren't the best and your lighting's not the best, it's still going to be a really nice film because it's got a powerful story behind it.
Yeah. Once again, going back, reflecting on what you just said, maybe this is about as much as they can, you know, they can get out of this film. Maybe they shot a longer version of it and they edited it down to what they can work with. We don't know. I do know I did not understand that one piece of this film. Other than the guy getting knocked over the head, the back of a toilet, he hit the body, plumber came, looked around, didn't fix nothing and left. And then and that was it. So, which was kind of mind-boggling. You called the plumber, he came over there, looked down the toilet, and, oh yeah, this and that. Looked at a bottle of whiskey or whatever, looked at
that was strange too.
Yeah, and then he walked out and got in his car and drove off. Yeah, and a body come tumbling down the steps from a dental floss that broke. And you ran to the door to check the body out, and the movie ends. Yeah. That's the whole 30 seconds of the movie I just explained. It took him 2 minutes.
Was it, really. That was in a nutshell. Yeah, I mean, that sums it up. So.
With that being said and done, what is your thoughts on this altogether? I like putting you on the spot because it makes me look good.
it was a valiant effort. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I think that they just gotta, like I said, just work on the story a little bit more, and they'll be fine. I think that, you know, this was probably one of their first films, and you know, being early off in filmmaking, there's a lot more that people don't realize goes into all this, and I think that they'll grow from here.
And if you got a film footage you'd like to send to us, please send it. The information is on the bottom of the screen here. You can send it to indiefilmscreenings@gmail.com. You can check out our Facebook page, Indie Film Screenings, on Facebook. There's a tweet line a tweet site you can go check out too. Of course, it's under Indie Film Screening. If you just want to find where we at, and what we do, just type in, Google it, Indie Film Screenings, and it'll bring up a whole list of things, what we do and where we at, and how you can get your footage sent on to the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Well, this is what the wardrobe people gave me to wear.
Oh, okay. Same here.
Well, anyway.
But I'm not cold because I am wearing a sweater though. I would be cold if I wasn't, but it's
Well, I
nice
couldn't tell who gave you that sweater.
nice and
Ray
warm.
Charles or Stevie Wonder.